Hey guys, so we are adding quests to the game, and I figured that before we lock everything in, I will share what we have so far. So, if any of you don't care too much about spoilers, or if you feel creative, or if you feel like you want to check out what is going on and give us some feedback about any of this, you can do this here. So I will show you quickly how the game works with quests, and then I will show you a little bit here about what the quests are, what is like the history of the world, the characters, and so on. And if you feel like giving us some feedback on that, you can do that. Alright, so basically this build is like we branched into two builds, Daniel and me, because I was focusing on quests and he's focusing on other stuff like characters, the new panel, the guild, and much other things. And we're gonna soon combine the two projects and then publish the new beta finally. The thing here is that here is what was going on. We wanted to do this. We wanted to go ahead and make quests for these four arenas. But then we have a kind of main story arc, but it is kind of misty, kind of not. It's not fixed yet. So the problem was that I would write a bunch of quests and then I would get some new idea about the world and about some plot, about some of those characters and so on. And then I would go ahead and change the quests and so on. And then I decided that this is no way of doing it. I have to go ahead and write the whole main story of every faction, and only then, when that is fixed, only then we can go ahead and actually add all the quests in the game, the side quests and everything. Because here's how it's going to go. When we release the early access, it's going to be 7 arenas, so this will be the last arena, and then during the early access we're gonna keep adding these arenas. So it's like the story doesn't really end here, but we need to have it written by then, otherwise it will have a lot of inconsistencies and problems, and it won't be as fun. So let me show you first how it works. So this is a place called the art right now. We're gonna have the new one implemented soon, but basically we have first of all timeline. The timeline is going, and when it reaches the end, day 10, you can play the championship. But between those, you have quests popping up. You can choose them or you don't have to choose them. If you're interested in the story and the world and so on, you can ask questions and so on. If not, it's pretty much made in a way that you don't have to even read it if you don't want to, because you see everything here, like, okay, so this is the difficulty of the battle, how much gladiators I have, okay, these are the enemies, it's a deadly battle, and these are the rewards. This panel needs a little editing too, but that will be updated soon. So, but if you want to get into the world and see what's the story and what's the lore behind it, you can do that. So, for instance, here, Baroness is asking us to get rid of some wild ghouls, wild undead, and you don't know what are wild ghouls, so you can ask Slan. And Slan, this is the Slan, this is your kind of helper in the guild. You can ask him questions, or sometimes when something happens in the guild he will tell you, and so on. So in this case he explains that wild wolves, they are risen by Crimson Mist, and Crimson Mist is some kind of mist that just started appearing 10 years ago. He says that here, if you ask for more, and it brings wild undead, and wild undead, those are undead that just run wild. Otherwise, Necromancer would rise dead and bind him to Mana Crystal, and he would be controlled undead, right? He would be like his pet. But then you can ask for more informations, and he tells you. So I won't go into that too much. Alright, so let's say we accept this fight, but I'm gonna close this first and go buy some gladiators. I don't know, let's buy anything. And alright, let's do it anyway. So about timeline. Right now it's stopped, but you can play it faster, stop it, and probably we are considering if we should have this feature or not. When you press this, it kind of goes till the end of the day, so we'll see what you guys like actually. Alright, let's go and do this quest. Alright, so this is the quest. You can change fight, you can't choose, it's just what the quest is. And let's do it. Alright, we won. And she's happy, and we can choose 2 rewards here. So we can choose 2 items, let's say. And we can ask some more questions. Alright, thank you for the coin. And that's it. Alright, let's press play. And now we have Gladiator wages. Now that's another feature that we have right now. Basically, right now it costs us 40 gold for those to maintain. And the main thing behind this feature was basically people didn't like that much that we had day limits and so on, and we had some feedback about how to change this, how to make some kind of pressure for player to play well, but still not be limited to how long he can play and so on. So we added these wages, and now this is something that you have to keep in mind. You will be able to borrow the money from bank if you are running out of money or something like that. So, but basically you don't want to keep a bunch of gladiators that are useless, and you want to, for instance, when you go on and shop gladiators, right now we don't have this in the panel because this is in Daniel's projects, but you will see, actually we have it, monthly salary, but it's updated panel, much nicer, this is placeholder. So monthly salary is 10 gold. So when you are shopping for them, it might be some expensive gladiator with not much monthly expenditure, but there might be some cheaper one that costs you more over time and so on. So it's another thing to manage. Alright, so as you can see, we can skip a whole day with this feature, and we are like thinking about it yet. Alright, so here is another quest. Hi Necromancer, he is having a problem. They are trying to rise some undeads from graveyards, but some villagers, they are protesting and they don't let them do their ritual and so on, because they don't like getting their ancestors risen and sent to sold to whatever, or we have a few quests about that, so I won't go into that too much. Again, some rewards, reputations with him. Alright, let's start. But this is actually a friendly battle. So here, can we even win this? I think with 2 orcs maybe. Alright, let's give this one a health potion. So we won. Alright, so let's choose reward. I know, let's get potions. And times go on. Now we have the championship. So the idea overall here is that we felt that game will get pretty kind of the same. The prologue is kind of like that. You just play the championship after championship after championship, and that's all that's going on. So we needed to add some difference in gameplay. So right now it's kind of through the week you're kind of preparing for the championship. So another thing that we will have is that the Gladiator will die, but when they die, you can revive them. But it takes some time to revive them. So it won't be like permadeath or no permadeath, it will always be death, but it costs you time and money to revive them. So you have to balance it out. What quest do you want to accept, to risk your units or not to accept? But basically you are bulking up through those quests before you go to the championship. And then the championship is much more important. Now that's the big thing that you're doing. So alright, I want to play through the whole thing. And that's it. So that's it. Now I'm gonna talk a little bit more about the storyline and so on, and I will share these files with you guys. So if anybody is interested in giving us some feedback, I mean there is a lot of decks here. I know that this is only for maybe few of you who are actually interested in like the lore and brainstorming it out and so on, but I'm just going to put it out there in Discord because we kind of have it here. We kind of have it done. It's already there, but before we lock it down and say that's it, we're not changing the main plots anymore, we gonna have like a little bit more brainstorming before that. Alright, so that's that. Okay, so I will go through this as fast as I can. I won't read all of this and so on. I will just run you through it, and if you want to, you can check out the files yourself. So basically we have three factions, right? We have People Representative Baroness and High Necromancer, and when you increase the reputation with some of them, for instance, here we have 75 out of 100, and when we reach 100 we will get friendly, and then she will give us like a special quest, and that quest, if we accept it, it's like pledging an allegiance with the Baroness. That means that you're going to play through her main quests, but like 90% of the quests are going to be side quests, but the main ones will be with her. So if you play and finish the game, you can go ahead and play and try with Necromancer and see his point of the story. Also, when the game ends, that of course won't be in early access, but when all the arenas are added, when the game ends, depending if you finished all the quests of one of the factions, it will have some ending screen and it will tell you what you changed in the world with that and so on. Okay, so basically we have a little bit of a history here. It was some old kingdom that was here, and then they started digging some mana ore. So this arena here is going to be deep mine. We are actually going to we're going to put it here actually, because we need it a bit earlier in the story, and we're going to put the swamp here. But basically, and these houses will be removed. So it's a mine, some sort of mine, like Hollow Mountain, they're mining iron here. So here they are pretending to be mining iron, they're actually mining mana stone. And the thing is that like about 1,000 years ago there was a catastrophe there. So when they go ahead and mine mana crystal ore. Basically it brings out this crimson mist, and this crimson mist, every time after the crimson mist, tomorrow there is a bunch of undead running around attacking peasants and making chaos, right? So they are hiding it, and because they are going to get like today's government 100 years ago is hiding it. The Baroness and Necromancer, they have a little deal about it. They need each other because she's running the region and he has the spellcasters for it. They are also collaborating with the dwarves, and they are doing that. So they are making problem in the region, but the thing is that there is not much iron left in the Hollow Mountain, and this is like the main source of their wealth in this region, and there are other motivations for each of the character. So again, I won't go through all of this, I will give you the link, but at today's point we have these characters. We have High Necromancer, he's like super old and he's prolonging his life with these mana crystals and his necromantic spells, but he can't do it much longer because the current magic is not allowing him. There is just not spell that will keep him alive for much longer, and he wants to use the mana tower that is connected to that ore and figure out the new spells. But it's risky because last time they did that 1,000 years ago, they wiped out the whole thing. They made a huge crimson storm, brought a bunch of undead, and the whole region was wiped out. So, but he wants to do that. He wants to do it for his own reasons and for reasons to make the kingdom better, because if they could prolong life for longer, for more people, easier, cheaper, then they would have a very powerful kingdom. And also he has his own reasons. He wants to live really long, and also he wants to go down the history, to be remembered this way, right? And then we have Baroness. So there is a story here. I won't go too much into it, but basically she wants to get dwarven technology and dig this ore much faster, because if she digs the ore really fast, then she can produce a lot of it. They also have to hide it, so they are going to fake some kind of trade here. They're gonna have like a ship trade, fake ship trade, like a decoy, and say that they are getting it from far away and she's just trading. So when they have a lot of wealth, they're paying a lot of tax in kingdom, and paying tax in kingdom, like the 12 regions that bring the most wealth to the kingdom get to go into the High Council. And High Council is next to the king, and they have a lot of power. So there is another problem. There is a nearby kingdom that is close to get in war with our kingdom. We need to figure out the names of the kingdoms. She thinks it's being handled terribly by current High Council, that there is going to be a war and we are going to lose. So she risks everything. She risks these mists that are produced by digging these mana crystals and so on, but she wants to do it because she wants to get this region into one of the most powerful regions in the kingdom, and then she will get a place in High Council, and she will be able to affect these negotiations and so on. So she can help preserve the kingdom and stop the war. Then we have people representatives. So this guy, he's not much of a character. He's not talking about himself and so on. He's just representing people. And people, they're having problems. First of all, they are made to work in this hollow mountain and dig treasures from ancient temple and so on. And then there's a bunch of undead, and so on. So they want better rights. They want her, the Baroness, to, if there is like, if there are monsters in Hollow Mountain, they want her to get rid of the monsters first, and they want to get paid without while they are not there, and so on. So there will be a bunch of side quests where like people are trapped in the temple and they are asking you to help them, or in the mountain, and so on. So they want that from her, and from High Necromancer they want to stop. They want him to stop raising the dead, their dead, because there will be bunch of quests like here. They are they're asking you to stop Church of the Dead, their necromancers, from raising their dead. Then you do that. It's like a friendly battle. Your units can't die there, but then it happens again, so it goes a bit farther, and they raised somebody's grandfather, and then they sold him into the kind of a traveling circus, and he's performing tricks. So they are pissed off, like, what are you doing? You're disgracing our ancestors, and so on. So they have that problem, and that is going to occur in a bunch of side quests. But also, if you choose people as the main reputation, then as the main faction that you do quests with, then they're going to ask you to help them fight the Church of the Dead and get their rights. And this is your helper Slan. He's just there telling you what is up. You can ask him questions and so on. Alright, so basically we have story for Necromancer, Baroness, and people. You can check out more here if you're interested. There are some quests over there. Those are already ready quests. And yeah, I'm going to leave links to all of this. And if you have any feedback, any ideas, anything, like, even like whatever feels like, maybe you have idea about some fantasy element, you have idea about changing something, about changing, adapting some character to be a bit more interesting, about some plot twist, about some side quest, main quest, anything, you can tell us about it, and we're gonna consider adapting the main thing. So that's it.